have quite a few games. Next I have the Jak and Daxter HD Remastered Collection, which is really cool. Especially just the trophy support is... I would get this just for the first game. I'm not as big of a fan of the second game. I haven't tried the third game yet. I want to. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Like a lot of these things, I I don't get to all of them just because time constraints and stuff. But I remember playing the first one way back. Well, not way back, but back in the day, and it's one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 2. It was one of the first games I got. I think it was boxed in with the system. So I really enjoyed going back and playing that, especially with the updated graphics, and I really like these HD collections. I know people go on about how they don't like the rehashes, and I guess it is rehashing, but to me, I like having them like this. I like having all three on one Blu-ray disc, and to me it's really worth it, upscaled and with the trophies and the whole ordeal. It's really nice. I really like it. Like I said though, Jak and Daxter 1, I like it as much, or almost as much as Super Mario 64. It's really that good. So, one of the best 3D platformers I've played. Next I've got Journey. And this one kind of annoyed me. Not the game. The game is great, or all three of the games on here really. Although Flow I didn't care much for. But Flower's really cool. I already had that from the PlayStation Store. You go around as a petal, and you sort of float, and you pick up the other leaves. It's a very relaxing game. I really enjoyed it. And it does the credits in one of the coolest ways I've ever seen it. Credits done too, where your leaf flies through the credits, the names of the people who created the game, which is cool. And then there's Journey, which who hasn't heard about Journey by now? And basically it's what it says. It's a journey, and you go on it, and you pick up other people along the way that you don't even know. I mean, it's you really have to play it with the online connected to get the full experience of it. But it's cool. Flow, you're underwater and you're kind of swimming around, but I found it difficult to control. Other than that, I mean, these are all made by That Game Company, which they seem to release a lot of cool stuff, so I would keep a lookout. I think they're pretty... well, they're probably not small now, but getting this all started, I know it was quite a feat, and they're real good. They're real nice games, and real different. Like I said, I really like supporting developers that do something different than the norm, so to speak. The way this is implemented, though, that was my problem with it. The games aren't... well, they are on the disc, but you have to download them from the disc onto your PlayStation. So it's not like, popping in the disc and playing the game. It's like popping in the disc and installing the game off the disc onto your hard drive, and the games need both the download and the disc to play. So the way it's implemented I don't like, but the games themselves are really good. Next up we have Alice Madness Returns, and if you are going to get this game, I would recommend you get it new, or sealed, because it comes with a code for the original American McGee's Alice, which I don't think you can get on the PlayStation 3 otherwise. I mean, there's no disc for it or anything. It's a PC game. So, basically, that's the way to get this. But this is a really good platformer, and it's got a really unique art style. A little bit creepy, but I'd say it's got a unique art style, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a 3D platformer, which isn't as common in this generation of video gaming. It was real big in the PS2 generation, but this generation has been all about first-person shooters. And this takes a break from that, and I really enjoyed this. Well, it's first-person shooters and a little bit of RPGs, I guess. But like I said, the 3D platform genre isn't real big this generation, so it's nice seeing anything that has that kind of going for it. Next we have Alpha Protocol, which was made by Sega. And I think this game got kind of unjustly criticized. It is a little glitchy. It's a little bit, I guess I could say that about most Sega games, really. I mean, they've got kind of this, I don't know, a little bit of cheaper feel to them, I would say. Yeah, I guess that's how I'd put it. But, I mean, this really is a great game. I had fun with it. I had a real fun time playing it. Obsidian. But, like I said, there's nothing wrong with this game, really. I mean, there's some annoying parts to it, and the end gets, the difficulty goes like, it's like a slope. Like, the whole game is like pretty easy all along the way until like maybe the very end, and then you just hit this massively hard slope, is what I've noticed. But overall, I mean, I really think it's a great third-person shooter. It's what it says it is. I mean, I can't complain too much about it. I mean, I think part of the thing is we've come to expect such a high level of quality from video games. I mean, you look back at like the NES days, and there's so much garbage on that system. There's a lot of good stuff too, but I mean, those are the games you hear about. But like, there was a lot of garbage on it too. You know, I mean, it wasn't all great stuff. So, I mean, we come to expect a certain level of quality from games, and it's really high. So, games like that are, I'd say, upper mediocre, sort of, kind of fall to the wayside, which is unfortunate. But anyways, next up we have Assassin's Creed, which, unfortunately, I kind of got lost. Everything looks the same in this game, so one desert looks like the next desert, looks like the next city, it all looks similar, and it's really kind of turned me off of the whole series. I've been kind of looking more back into the series now that, what is it? Now that Assassin's Creed 3 is out with the whole Civil War period, or not, Revolutionary War period, is the whole thing, which looks cool, and I think I like the overall story arc, or where it's going, but Assassin's Creed 1, I got lost, and it's just really hard. I have that problem with games, though. I seem to have no sense of direction in video games, so I get lost pretty easily. And there's a lot of RPGs I don't like for that reason. And then Assassin's Creed 2, which I haven't played yet because I haven't beat Assassin's Creed 1. And I'm kind of a completionist about that sort of thing, so without beating I've been tempted to skip to Assassin's Creed 2 because I've heard it's a much better game. But since it's a story-based game, I'm hesitant to do that. Maybe I'll watch videos or something of the first one and just skip to the second one, because the first one really kind of annoys me, and people say the second one really picks the series up. So, I think I might do that. And the same with this one, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I haven't got to it either because, like, I haven't beaten Assassin's Creed 1, so I haven't beaten Assassin's Creed 2, so I haven't beaten Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And I was holding off on Revelations until Assassin's Creed 3 came out, which, now that it's out, I'm sure the price of Revelations will drop, and I'll pick that up too. I find usually that's kind of the best time to pick up video games is when the new release comes out, and then you pick up the last release because they usually just like drop the price off on the last one. At least around here. I'm not sure if that's a local thing or not. I wouldn't assume it would be. The next one we have is Bayonetta, which apparently had some problems on the PlayStation 3 when it first came out, although I never experienced any problems on it, so there was some big patch I had to download that must have fixed most of the issues. That's the other thing about these PlayStation 3 games. I got a lot of these after they were patched and fixed, because I know that a lot of times the PlayStation 3 versions are inferior, or people say they are anyways. Like Skyrim, I know, was pretty inferior on the PlayStation 3 when it came out. I don't know if that's been rectified yet, but that's typically not really my kind of game anyways. So, anyways, Bayonetta was fun. What I played of it, like, I haven't gotten that far into it. I know a lot of these I'm saying I haven't gotten that far into, but I like to jump around. I don't like to be stuck on any one genre for too long. So, it's fun. It's Sega-y. I don't know if that's a word, but, well, it's not a word, but I made it up. It's Sega-y. I'll say that. Next is Call of Duty Black Ops, which I actually liked. I thought it was a fun game, and I know Call of Duty is overdone now. But this one, I liked the campaign. It's really short, but I don't know what people's complaints about. I think the only complaint about this game really is that it's overpopular for what it is. It's not a bad game by any means at all, but they rehash it every year. That's the first thing. And the second thing is it's not like the best game you've ever played. It's not emotionally moving in any ways. It's pretty cliche. It's a lot like a Michael Bay movie in some ways, with a lot of explosions and overdramatic elements. But I can't, like, it's what sells, and it's what you'd expect from a game like this. It doesn't really veer from how first-person shooters always have been. I mean, people act like this is some new thing or something, but the truth of the matter is, well, military first-person shooters, that's kind of how they've always been. You know, I don't want to say all first-person shooters, because then I was thinking like Doom and Quake and, you know, Unreal Tournament or nothing like that. But as far as console shooters and military shooters, this is pretty standard fare, so I don't know. I think it's just overpopularity breeds a lot of haters, so to speak. Next we've got Catherine, which was brutally hard. Really hard. If you get this game, put it on easy, and it'll still be freaking hard. I had to put in... there's a button combination you can hold to make it very easy. So it's kind of like a cheat code or something. But I had to do that to actually finish the story once I got to about level... the last two stages or so, just because it was so brutally hard. I was watching YouTube videos and, like, pausing the game and watching the video and pausing the game. Like, that's how hard it is. But it's a really fun game. The story's compelling. It's a little bit Japanese. I mean, is how I guess I put it that way. So it's a little odd, but it's really a fun game. I don't know what else there is to say much about this game. It's a puzzle game. It's puzzle game meets dating simulator, I'd say, and that's sort of fun. So, yeah. Anyways, you move blocks around, and there's a story that you're in a nightmare, and if you die in the nightmare, then you die in real life, and that's the story. And basically, as you progress along, you unravel the mystery of what it's all about. And there's different endings depending on how you answer certain questions in the game and how you behave, which doesn't make any immediate sense, really, or doesn't make much sense at all sometimes. But it's a fun game, a little quirky, a little unusual, and it's made by Atlas, so if you know who they are, you know what to expect. Next up is The Club. I have not played this at all yet, but I was interested in it, and it was $3 at GameStop, so I picked it up. So, maybe I'll get around to it sometime. Maybe I won't. I think a lot of stuff I might get around, like, if the next systems don't use discs, I'm abandoning buying new games in general. So, which I know they'll all go digital eventually, so whenever that happens, I have this big backlog to play of stuff, and I'll get to it at some point, so might as well pick things up while they're cheap.